What's up, everybody? This is Tidbits, our weekly gaming show where we look at the games releasing for the week. And if there's any relevant news or anything worth talking about or discussing, we'll chime in on that as well. Just like every week here on Tidbits on Monday, joined by the one and only Fuzzy Belvedere. What's up, Fuzz? How's it going?
How you doing, Mav? Hey, everybody in the chat and everybody listening later. Glad to be here, man. Some gems that came or are coming out this week, so I can't wait.
Yeah, this is like the first big release week, I think, of the year, where we have actually a lot to look at as far as new games. Right, we've seen a lot of ports and stuff like that. You know, we've had a lot of news, but not a lot of games dropping this year yet. So it's getting ramped up now. And it's going to be actually more fun this week on Tidbits with the game releases than we've had the last couple weeks. Because the last couple weeks we've been mainly diving into some of these crazy news topics that's happened on a Monday, right? Like Bungie and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, Activision Blizzard. But this week we got some games to look forward to. So shout out to the chat. Thank you for being here, guys and gals and everybody. So we're gonna have some fun and taking a look at these games. So first up, Fuzzy Belvedere, what do we have on the list? It looks like we have Ollie World. Yes. So Ollie World is releasing on the Xbox Series X and S, the PS5, PS4, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. And it is releasing on the 8th. So that is actually tonight/tomorrow. It's already got a review of an 8, and this looks pretty good. It's a little indie gem, a sequel, I guess, to Last Ollie, but this one seems a lot bigger of a game, right?
Yeah, they definitely ramped up the art style, ramped up the world that you're going to be playing in and stuff, and they've added a lot more like obstacles and tricks and things like that. So and the character creator, I think almost everything is imaginable is in that game that you can do for character creator. So it's awesome that they stepped it up from the original game. But man, if you're into skating games, I definitely think this is one worth looking at.
Yeah, heck yeah, man. I'm gonna pop this trailer on real quick.
Somewhere far across the Ollie world is Radlandia, a nation where the beaches, trees, and rocks you ride across were forged by the skate gods themselves. Of course they're real. Almost everyone agrees. Some say they even created the third dimension so that we could have more opportunities to explore as we seek Nirvana. In fact, Chiffon, the skate wizard, actually talks to the gods.
It looks like there's
she's
some
traveling
story
the land with her crew to train her successor, you.
I think they're going for like
so as you go from beautiful Sunshine Valley,
where you're like a skater in training.
Yeah.
Kind of think like Forza Horizon. You're like the new kid on the block, and you're gonna pretty much be the breakout talent that everybody's gonna want to film and take videos of and things like that.
Ghost trees, zombies, all these.
It looks pretty cool, man. A big step up from the first game, looks like. I'm thinking that this is going to be something that a lot of people get really into.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to give this one a try.
How much is it? It's 40 or 30 bucks, right? 30 bucks, I think. Right on.
And I think they will have some expansions and packs and stuff like that for later, but for what you get right off the bat, it's a pretty big world.
Ooh, you can be dad. Yeah, this looks rad, man. All right, Ollie World, man. That again, that's like tonight or tomorrow. I don't know what time it releases, but if you live in New Zealand, you could probably play it right now.
Yeah.
All right, what else we got here? What's next up? We got Sifu.
Oh yeah.
Sifu. This game is like being talked about a lot right now because it's one of the first big exclusives of the year, like the platform
Mhm.
exclusives. It's a indie game exclusive on the PS5. It's also releasing on the PS4 and PC.
Yep.
And it's being talked about a lot for a couple reasons. Um, one of the reasons is like, well, I'll say three main reasons. One reason is supposed to be really good, according
Mhm.
to a lot of people. A Game
Yeah.
Informer here gave it a 7.25, so they think it's so like pretty good. But a lot of
Yeah.
people I've seen have like really high praise, and I've talked to a lot of people, and I know you've been playing it as well, Fuzzy. And
Yeah.
so that's one reason is most people have kind of said, "Hey, this is a great game," right?
Yeah.
The second
Mhm.
reason, supposedly it's incredibly hard. Uh,
Yeah, it does ramp up.
so that's the second reason, and there's been like people saying like, "Hey, they should make games easier for more people and all this kind of stuff," right?
Yeah.
And which like is a conversation to be had, I guess, but like
Mhm.
for me, like this game is probably built around the premise of being hard as the main focal point, and I don't know, like I think devs should make the games how they want to make them,
Yeah.
and then and if they want to put in an easy mode as well, they shouldn't be criticized for that either, right? So whatever the
True.
devs decide to do, I remember when like Psychonauts 2 came out and there was like a bunch of people like upset because there was like a god mode in it and you couldn't get hurt and like you got achievements still, right? And I was like,
Mhm.
why are people upset about that? Like it doesn't. You're upset that other people get to play and enjoy the game that would have not been able to otherwise. And in this
Yeah.
case, also, I'm not upset that it's less accessible either. Like it's just meant for that audience, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there's room for both types of games, and whatever the devs
Mhm.
decide to put in, I think is great. I think if they decide at some point to put easier modes in there, great. If they don't, fine.
Yeah.
Um, the other reason that this game's been brought up a lot is because some people are saying it's overpriced because it's like 5 levels in it or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's a $50 game. That's not for me or anybody to really to say what people should find
Mhm.
value in, like in this game. I mean, like this is probably you played it, right? So you can
Yeah.
probably say more than me. But the thing, some of these games are built more around that premise, right, of replayability.
Oh
Um,
yeah, it's definitely got a lot of replayability in there. I think the big thing is uh, there's been some influencers out there that gave their honest opinion, and some of them are probably more handy at certain games like your Sekiros or
yeah.
your no Niho or Neo or something like that. Um, so or playing a game like this, they might be able to finish it in 2.5 hours once they get the mechanics down, or maybe right off the bat.
Hmm.
And there's a few people in the community that are on the fourth level within 2 hours, and they're still in their early 20s. That's not to say that it's not a challenging game. It's definitely a challenging game. May not be as challenging for those individuals, but I think the big thing is the value of the game changes per the person. For
Right.
me personally, I'm into kung fu uh, flicks from like the 70s and 80s and stuff. That's when I grew up, and watching those with my dad was kind of cool. Having a game that kind of emanates that, that's an instant appeal for me. And then the fact that there's replayability, like even just playing, like you have like your own section in the dojo where you could practice. Just
Hmm.
I did that for like a half hour or so, just playing around, trying to chain my moves so that way when I got three people surrounding me, even though they don't have a way you can do multiple AI, or I haven't figured that part out yet, but I want to be able to chain some moves so that way I can focus on one, get them down real quick, and then take care of the others, and then possibly pop the other one while he's still on the ground, type of thing. Or just figuring out the durability on some of the weapons and stuff like that. But for me, this game is worth the 40 for the basic price. I actually bought the one that's 50, but I paid 45 because they had like a
Hmm.
PS Plus sale, because it comes with the music and the art book and all that stuff, and you get the early access, which I'm a sucker for stuff like that. But but for some, this might not be the game that they want to part with $40. And I can't criticize them for it. Like, I know there's a few individuals out there that were like,
Yeah.
I want to wait for a sale. And that's their
completely
prerogative.
fine.
Yeah. I mean, not everybody has to buy the game day one at full price. I don't know why we try to shame people for that. I don't know why we try to shame people for waiting for a sale or playing it in a service. As long as we're playing the game and we're enjoying it, that's all that should be talked about. It shouldn't be like, hey, why do you want to, discount this game or whatnot, or why aren't you playing it day one? You're not a real gamer. And it's like, who comes up with these real gamer talk questions or challenges? It's like, as long as you're playing the game, you're a gamer. Doesn't matter, real, fake, whatever. Fake is when you're not playing the game. Everybody else is playing the game, not just this game, but any game in general, whether it be on your phone, PC, or whatnot. They're a gamer, and we can accept it. We may not agree on the type of game, but just accept that they're actually enjoying the same hobby, just a different level of it or a different version of it.
That's my main thing I've been seeing a lot, is people trying to ruin other people's joy for this game that are enjoying it, right? And like, I haven't played it, right? So I can't speak on how good it is. But for me, it's like, I see people happy with it. They find the value. It's not even a full price game, right?
Yeah.
And they're enjoying the heck out of it. And I see other people on Twitter or whatever being like, oh, it's a waste of money, or like, somebody said like it's irresponsible to spend your money on this game and this one other one or something like that. And somebody else was talking about the difficulty, or it only had like 5 levels, and like and it's just like, man, like, if it's not for you, that's fine. It doesn't mean it's like trash or bad, or like bad for people to enjoy this. Like, just let people enjoy what they're into. So everybody out there enjoying Sifu, including you, Fuzzy. Hey, at first, like, big exclusive kind of like sleeper. I wouldn't say sleeper. I mean, people were kind of looking forward to this, but it's getting great reviews. And I've seen some people say like it even could be potentially in their Game of the Year candidate for later in the year already, right? So, like, that's a good thing to get this early in February, and we got a lot more coming this month too.
Oh yeah.
I've been enjoying Dying Light 2, which is another game that's been getting like a lot of controversy.
Yeah.
Since its release.
Dying Light 2, like I bought it day one. I've only played a little bit of it, but it's mainly because, well, Sifu, but I'm like bouncing back and forth between both games, but I enjoy both of them, but they have totally different, things that they fulfill for me. It's like Dying Light, I'm a zombie fanatic, I guess you could say. Like 28 days and 28 weeks later and all that stuff. I'm all for that stuff. And that game is as close, at least in my opinion, to like living out 28 days later in the video game. And then when it comes to Sifu, it's like, well, this is me react or basically being incarnated in the 70s Kung Fu flick and try not to die or get too old before I make it to the end. But Dying Light is an awesome game. The little bit that I've played, and I know people were like, oh, 500 hours, but you don't have to search every nook and cranny. And you can probably mess around and be like, all right, I just feel like chopping zombies and spend like an hour doing that for kicks type of thing. So it's it's all fun either way.
Yeah, I've been enjoying it. Like, I think that I've run into one bug. I had the sound glitch once, and I had to restart the game, where there was like a buzz sound, and it all the sound went out after that. So I had to restart the game once. So that's the only bug I've run into. I've put in at least 5 or 6 hours so far. But yeah, I'm having a blast with it, and I played some co-op with Kate. The night it came out, we were doing a launch stream, and I just had a massive headache. So I was gonna do co-op after we got past the first like couple hour intro, and I couldn't do the co-op after that because like I just had to sign off. But I played quite a bit the next day, and then I played some co-op. It's been fun, man. I really like the game. Now I think it needs to be
Yeah.
optimized a little bit better,
Yeah.
right? Like I've seen other games that are as big or potentially even bigger, get 4K 60 or at least 1440 upscaled to 4K at 60, right?
Mhm.
And this one doesn't have ray tracing, all those other things. So the fact that it's at 1080p 60 is kind of like it's a little strange, right? Not
Yeah.
that it's like, oh, it doesn't kill the game. Like if you're just to glance at it or whatever, it's not like, oh, it looks horrible and it looks great. It's beautiful, but it would
Yeah.
just be nice to get that extra level of clarity without sacrificing
Yeah.
the 60 frames, because I've seen other games do it.
I think they have that patch coming. I know that they're doing a 60 frame and 120 frame VRR
Yeah.
patch, but
Okay.
I think that's just for the Series X for right now. I'm pretty sure it seems like they were working until the 12th hour to get the game out, and I think the optimization stuff will come later. I mean, it's pretty decently optimized, but like you said, yeah,
It
the
runs super
4K 60
smooth.
should,
Yeah, it
yeah,
runs super smooth. It's just at 1080. And I think that's like they just wanted to ensure of that, right?
yeah,
It like I said, it's not like it doesn't like kill the experience or anything whatsoever. It's still great. I would
yeah.
never trade off. Like if this launched like and the only option was like a 1440p 30 or 4K 30, I would be
Mhm.
like upset, right? So
Yeah.
I'm glad that the performance mode exists with 60. I'm just
Mhm.
used to getting at this point a higher resolution than
Oh
1080 on a
yeah,
next gen game, right? So
yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what they do with those patches and stuff. But other than that, man, I've been absolutely loving it. Great game. Story's good so far.
Mhm.
Combat's fun.
Yeah.
I love the loot, how the loot works and everything.
Oh
So,
yeah.
shout out to Bomber. He hasn't pulled the trigger on it because he's not a zombie fan. Hey, no worries, bro. Are you scared? Scared, Bomber? You scared those zombies gonna get you, man? It's up to Tony Grasso, Geezer Prime, Micah. Appreciate all you guys hanging out here. All right, next up, Fuzzy. We have
It's just Action Arcade.
Action Arcade Wrestling, and this has slipped under my radar somehow. I did buy. Remember, was it Retromania came out last year?
Mhm.
I bought that, and then and it came out. I was like, it actually wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. And I realized it didn't have any online multiplayer or anything like
Yeah.
that. So I'm curious about this one because it looks similar. I'm gonna check out the. At first, I want to see the price. Okay, this is buying. It's sending me to buy some. Is that a Riddler? Outfit wearing a white suit, and then also a little micro arcade machine. So that's not it.
Good old.
It looks like this
GameStop.
originally came out on PC.
Yeah.
So all right, I'm gonna go to the website. Ooh, this looks like old school WWE kind of.
Yeah.
Now, is it online?
That part I do not know. I these days it's almost like games like this. It's almost like a crime for them not to do it online.
Yeah. Kills me, man. Like I think a lot of these games would be so much more successful if they were online,
Mm-hmm.
Looks pretty good though. Like it's got that retro wrestling vibe.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder what it's rated on Steam. It is Is it mostly positive? Oh, it's only $15 on Steam. It's mostly positive on Steam. Okay. All right. Oh, you can be death and electrocute people? That's pretty cool. You can be a zombie? That's not bad. Okay. It says online. Wait, oh, never mind. Shoot, that's about the website. I was reading this little disclaimer on the bottom of the website. It says, in order to provide you with the best online experience. I was like, wait, it has online. No. Okay. Key features. Yeah, I don't see anything about online gameplay. So
Yeah.
Oh no. Well, I'm hoping it's the same price on consoles as it is on PC. $15. If anybody knows if this game is online, just let me know. Bomber says that zombies are boring. Main reasons why I don't like most of The Last of Us due to the infected. I don't really get into The Last of Us just because it like feels like dreadful and oppressive and depressing. It's like that's the main reason I can't get into that. But so Tony says, I bought AAW, good multiplayer, no story or anything, if you can remember. Right on. Okay. All right. So next up, Fuzzy Belvedere is Backbone.
Yeah.
Now this has already been released, I think, on other platforms, right?
Yeah, it came out on console and PC, like Xbox and PS4 and 5 not too long ago. It's now coming to the Switch.
Okay. So we won't spend a lot of time on that. I think we may have even actually, I don't know if we were doing Tidbits in June of last year. If we were, we covered this. But yeah, this is like an animal detective game from what I remember.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. And the one thing that I remember about this, wasn't it like a full price game?
Compared on console, like I think it came out a little bit cheaper on PC and it was like full price on console, but I want to say it dropped shortly after.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know on Xbox, I think it dropped to like 40 or 30 or something not too far after because of like the idea at Xbox sale.
I'm not complaining about that. I'm just saying I remember being surprised at the price of it. Like when I saw it, I was like, oh, okay. It's a full price game. I thought it was going to be like more of an indie, like cheaper thing, you know, and looking at it for the first time. But
yeah.
All right, next up. Now this is one that's very interesting because we've had discussions about this game quite a bit. I think on our channel a lot because there's a lack of discussion about it. And that's the discussion is that there's a lack of discussion. It's very interesting to me that this game that is getting some kind of a Game Pass campaign thing, free to play multiplayer, Remedy's involvement with the campaign, all of this stuff is releasing this week, and there's really like almost no marketing. There's like no hype behind it. There's nobody talking about it or really anything. Crossfire X releases this week.
Yeah, it comes out Thursday. Only, I guess, the first act or first chapter of the campaign is going to be on Game Pass day and date.
Campaigns.
Yeah.
Is what they're calling it. But previews were not very positive on this game.
Yeah.
I remember taking place in the multiplayer beta that they had, like 2020.
Yeah.
Was not good.
It was definitely broken. I mean, I still had fun with it because once I realized it was broken, I was like, how do these people get to the objective in like 2 seconds? And then I was like, oh, they're running around with knives. And when you run around with a knife, you run 2 or 3 times as fast. I was like, I'll just like everybody else run up to the objective with a knife and then wait for people to come and stab them. I know it sounds bad for like a first person shooter game to do that, but you know, it made things interesting. So when both teams were doing that, then everybody stopped doing that, and then they went back to playing normal. But yeah, it definitely needed some polishing as far as their online or the multiplayer part. But it was a bit of fun. once you realize it's broken and just go along with it type of thing.
Yeah, so we'll see. I mean, how this game does, and I don't know like how big the campaigns are going to be. Like, I don't know, Geezer. Like, he's asking if the campaigns are short. I would imagine so if there's multiple of them. I'm
Yeah.
thinking of like a couple hour experience probably,
Hmm.
and after that, you have the free to play multiplayer, right?
Yeah.
Um, so
I
and
get
now
the
this
Michael
is
Bay vibe of like Call of Duty, but Michael Bay
yeah.
vibe kind of thing.
My
So
main
it
takeaway was it just felt the beta, which was a long time ago, so it could have changed dramatically. Like the other weird thing is, man, that beta released really early
mhm,
compared to when we're playing the game.
yeah,
Like, I mean, you're talking about almost like 2 years or something.
true.
That's crazy.
Mhm.
Um, and my main takeaway from that was it just felt really generic. And it was generic, and it kind of felt like one of those free to play, like other shooters that exist out there. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
that are kind of like
Yeah.
seem like mobile games, right? Kind of
Mhm.
converted into playable on a console. I remember there was one that I played a little bit of on the Xbox and PlayStation. I can't even remember the names of them. Right? They're just I've only played like very short stints just to check them out, and
Yeah.
they were kind of a dime a dozen. They're always kind of the same, you know.
Yeah.
This kind of felt like one of those type of games to me when I played it. Now I'm
Mhm.
hoping that with all that extra time since that beta, and because maybe there's like a little bit of a campaign,
Mhm.
that it will separate itself and be good.
Yeah.
But we'll see. I mean, who knows,
The
man?
visuals were definitely they were, I won't say they were top notch, but they were definitely decent visuals, as far as the environment and the character models and things. Uh, I just look at this one where the campaign, at least one of the chapters or campaign sections is going to be in Game Pass. It'll
Hmm.
be one of those deals where test it out. If I enjoy it, then I'll probably wind up picking up the whole series of the campaigns. If I don't like it, no real skin off my teeth at that point. I'll probably try the free to play multiplayer just to kind of see in comparison to the beta. But if it doesn't grab my attention in like the first hour or so, as far as like compared to Insurgency, which I know I'm an Insurgency Sandstorm stan right now, but yeah, that's the game it's got to beat out for me, at least in my mind or in my playthrough type of thing. But we'll see. I'll give it a try.
Yeah, definitely gonna give it a try. Right? It's the beauty of Game Pass. Like if something like this launches,
Mhm.
you can try it. Right? The first campaign you're gonna be able to try, and then also the multiplayer is free to play anyway. So, um, worth a shot. Now this next one, I'm a little bit more excited about. This has been falling under the radar a little bit,
Mhm.
and I mean, I don't think this is on a lot of people's radar. It's called Edge of Eternity.
Mhm.
And this is a JRPG. It released on PC last year, and it actually got rave reviews from JRPG fans on PC. And I remember seeing like stuff on like the trailers, the videos, and stuff like, "Wow, that looks pretty impressive." Right? That looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
And but this game is now it's coming to console. It's hitting PS5, Series XS, PS4, Xbox One, and then later this month on the Switch even.
Yeah.
So the game's Edge of Eternity. What do you know about this game? Are you excited for it yourself?
I'm definitely looking to see if I'm going to give it a try. I like the visuals and things that I've seen so far for both the PC version, and it looks like we're going to get a good bit of that look on the PS5 and the Series X and stuff.
Hmm.
I think this will be a game that I wind up trying, since we won't wind up getting Final Fantasy on Xbox this go around.
Yeah,
I think I'll at least give this one a try and you know give it a go for a bit. But I like some of the combat and visuals that I saw on this one, so definitely looking forward to it.
yeah, and this is on Game Pass as well. Everybody, So is adding a little bit more variety into Game Pass if you're a Game Pass subscriber on Xbox. So it's nice to see these JRPGs kind of get that treatment, right? So PS, like I said, it's also on PlayStation. It's $39.99 is the asking price. And from what I remember, guys, that this was kind of like a sleeper last year. I wondering if Game Informer. It doesn't look like Game Informer has a review, but curious about the meta actually on it. Edge of Eternity reviews. Looks like 67 on Meta. What did it get on Steam? Is it mostly positive? Yeah, mostly positive on Steam. And I'm going to go ahead and blow this up so we can... Not that big. Watch this trailer. It looks pretty... I mean, it looks classic to me, right?
Yeah.
Like a classic JRPG. This isn't big enough. Screw this. I'm gonna use your link, Fuzzy. I'm not gonna accept that small little box. Yeah, I want people to check this out. Like, I think JRPGs like kind of get overlooked a lot of times, especially on Xbox, and this is more of a traditional one. So I think like, hey, you know, this has a chance to get some people interested in this genre, being in Game Pass, and get a lot of people to try something that maybe they haven't tried before.
Yeah. Like I said, I like the look of the combat and the visuals. Definitely, well, it gives a little bit more of an older, like, not really medieval, but like a knight's version of like Final Fantasy to some extent, as far as some of the armor and things that they wear. But I like what I see so far, and the fact that it's in Game Pass, yeah, it definitely getting some try time on that. And if I wind up enjoying it for $40, that's an easy one to pick up.
Yeah. I mean, the combat system looks sick too, man. Like, I remember there was a game that came out on 360 called Enchanted Arms, and the people were like kind of mid on it, right? Oh my god, I just used the word mid. Oh my gosh, like, what's happening? Been around my daughter too much. So people were kind of like, yeah, some people liked it, some people didn't. I freaking loved that game because of the traditional JRPG-ness of it, but like also the combat, the tactical combat system in it was great. I have high hopes for this. I'm going to definitely be giving this one a try. So I want to explain something also to Ollie. Ollie in the chat, Ollie Turkman. Shout out to you. Thank you for watching. He had asked a question a bit ago about why Sifu is not on Xbox. So we're going to look up Sifu again here real quick, because I was curious who it was actually published by. It's self-published by Slow Clap. Now, this is an indie game, first off, right? Yeah. So I'm pretty sure they got some kind of marketing deal with PlayStation, because PlayStation's been marketing this game pretty heavily. As an indie game, a lot of times these studios will take deals with certain companies in order to get more marketing and stuff in exchange for timed exclusivity and all this kind of stuff, right? So that's potential there. Is it going to be forever exclusive? I don't know. I don't know if they've ever mentioned anything about that. But part of those deals that they usually make about marketing rights and stuff like that, which we've seen a lot of PlayStation marketing, means that they're not going to be mentioning anything to do with the other platforms, right? They're not going to be mentioning Xbox. That's actually in the contracts that they have to sign. We've seen leaked contracts last year of between PlayStation and Capcom regarding a game, and it's not allowed to go in any other services, not allowed to be marketed by any other companies or whatever. They're not allowed to mention the other companies and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's not on Xbox, because I saw you say Xbox has got to be more straightforward about this. If they don't want to release on Xbox on day one, they shouldn't let them release on Xbox and PC. It's a deal between the developers here and PlayStation. Like, that's just
Yeah.
what it is. It has nothing to do with Xbox. Xbox has no control over that whatsoever. I'm sure Xbox would love to have Sifu on the platform, and in the future, it's a possibility. Who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but it's not on. Xbox can't say Sifu's coming there in the future because they don't have any control over that, or even probably even know at this point, right? It's up to the Sifu and developers, Slow Clap, on making any statements about that, and they may be contractually obligated to not be able to. So I hope that helps clear that kind of stuff up. That's just business with video games.
I'll add a little sunshine or a little bit of sun ray of hope.
Mm-hmm.
They made Absolver, which they had a similar, PlayStation exclusive deal for a while, and then it wound up, I think, the following year on Xbox.
Yeah.
So there is that potential. I can't promise it. Right now, with it being on Epic, it's kind of questionable as opposed to with it being on, like, let's say Steam, for example. So if it was on Steam, I would lean to say, yeah, if you want to wait for it to be on Xbox, then you could probably do that. But as it stands now, if you like Kung Fu games and you don't have a PS5, pick it up on PC at the Epic Store. Or if you have a PS5, I think it's worthwhile picking it up now, although that all varies based on your play style and what you prefer to play at a given time.
Yeah.
So.
And traditionally, like, this goes on Xbox too. There's a lot of indie games that come out exclusively on Xbox and then eventually come out also on other platforms. For example, the Medium. Yeah. Death's Door will probably, I don't know if they've released on other platforms yet, like PlayStation stuff, but I'm pretty sure that eventually will. Let's see, what else was there? I mean, there's so many examples like you can pull out there of the same deals working both ways, So it's really a non-issue. And maybe one day it'll be on Xbox. We'll have to wait and see. All right, so next up, Cardboard Kings. PC release. I don't know what the hell this is. It says Cardboard Kings will let you live out your card shop dreams when it launches next month. So is this like some kind of like gaming card store?
Yeah.
Okay. Death's Door is already on PlayStation. See, there you go. Was Death's Door launched first on Xbox, or were they just in Game Pass? Or they weren't even on Game Pass. It launched first on Xbox, then later on PlayStation, right?
Mm-hmm. And then I think by the time it came to PlayStation, we got it in Game Pass.
In Game Pass.
I know at first it wasn't in Game Pass when it came out.
There was a couple of those indie games that came out last year that were only on Xbox.
Like 12 Minutes was another
12
one,
Minutes,
but I think that's now on PlayStation as well.
Right on. Yeah, so it goes both ways. And they can't say anything until a certain time has passed. And then usually, like, right after, what they'll do is they'll be like, oh, this is coming to Xbox next week. Right? Because once that deal goes down and is out, they want to get it out on the other platforms as soon as possible. Yeah. All right, this is a video game about a card game. Open your own card game shop. Buy and sell cards to earn reputation. Customize your shop. Hunt down the legendary cards and become the Cardboard King. I love little like random games that we get to find out about like this. Here's the YouTube clip. Akupara Games.
Hidden in a shoebox tucked away in my parents' attic, I finally found.
This is like for Magic fans, stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
Just for a single booster.
Or if you're in, I guess, like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah,
I guess
Pokemon.
even like the Pokemon cards and stuff.
Yeah, it looks like Pokemon right there.
Yeah.
Oh, this is definitely a Pokemon thing. Pokemon ripoff. It's not a Pokemon ripoff. It's about a card shop that's selling a knockoff Pokemon game. It's about a card shop with a K that's selling a knockoff Pokemon game. And then maybe they also have Magic as well, knockoff, because I saw Warlock back there, right? This is so crazy, dude. What the heck is this thing?
The off-brand.
Is that a
card store.
Pomeranian? Phantom Mask. Collect over 100 cards. There's not more cards. I'm sorry. There's got to be more than 100 cards. If that's all that's it. Okay, Cardboard Kings. Open the world's best game shop. Okay. Right on. So Cardboard Kings. Oh my god, I don't even know what's gonna happen when I click on purchase this one. King of Fighters 15. Bandai One Piece Kaido King of the Beast. Everything but the game, of course. It's only digital.
Yeah.
I have no
kinda
clue,
feel
guys, how much this is or anything.
I kind of feel GameStop doesn't support PC. They're like, you know what? Just
Yeah.
send it to a random search result.
Is that a missed opportunity from them? Like, what if they sold like Steam codes and stuff for games, like digitally, right?
It would make sense. I mean, I know they have the Steam cards or like the, like the $50 or $100 ones in the store. So selling the digital games would make sense for them.
Yeah. We have another question in the chat from Ollie Turkman. He says, "Is there any upcoming game by Activision Blizzard?" Well, there's Call of Duty every year, so there will be a Call of Duty this year.
Mhm.
That's one. Overwatch 2 is in development. Also, Diablo 4 is coming out next year, supposedly. Was delayed out of this year, so I'm sure it'll probably hit next year. So it's Diablo 4. They just announced they're working on a new survival game at Blizzard, and they also have the hint about coming out with StarCraft again. We'll see if that's going to happen. But also they have World of Warcraft ongoing game. They have Hearthstone is an ongoing thing that they continue to work on and stuff. So yeah, Blizzard has actually quite a bit they're working on right now. A lot, actually. They have like a Studio 5000. As far as Activision, all we know right now is Call of Duty, but that's because all of their studios have been on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
There has been something else announced that I'm not thinking of. Like last year they had Tony Hawk remake, which was actually really good. But other than that, yeah, just Call of Duty and Warzone content.
Yeah, I think you're right on that. That's the only thing that they have on the Activision side. But
They could have announced something though as well. I mean, like it wouldn't surprise me if they announced something this year because they've usually had at least one other thing, that they can drop other than just Call of Duty. So we'll see. Yeah. So next year is going to be probably a bigger year for Blizzard. And Blizzard's always been that way. Like they'll go years without anything, and they kind of seem like they're falling apart, and then they'll release like something, and it ships a little rocky, and then they turn it into like this game that's played like by millions and millions and millions for years, right? That's just what they do.
Yeah.
So we'll see that with Diablo 4 and probably also Overwatch 2 when it comes out. All right, so Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue. What does 2.8 mean? I'm getting confused with these decimals.
They had some like in between ones. I didn't. I'll be honest. I didn't follow the Kingdom Hearts series. I played a little bit of Kingdom Hearts 3, and that was like my first Kingdom Hearts. But I know that there have been some like updates or like in between stories or something along those lines. And now all of these that have already been on like the PlayStation and on the Xbox are now finally coming to the Switch.
Yeah, cool. This is what this is. It's coming to the Switch. This came out 2017 originally on PS4. 3 years later came out on Xbox One. The next year PC, and then the next year on the Switch. So this game is released in 4 different years on different platforms. Also Kingdom Hearts 3 on the Switch. So it looks like just all the Kingdom Hearts games are dropping on the Switch.
Yeah.
So they got Kingdom Hearts HD 1.5 plus 2.5 remix, Kingdom Hearts 2.8. Aren't some of these actually going to be only playable via like that cloud streaming on the Switch? I think.
I kind of wonder. I think you're right on that.
I think I remember seeing something like it has to be played via with the cloud compatibility. I think it was maybe 3, maybe all of them.
Yeah. 3 is probably going to be the biggest graphical hit. So yeah, that one's probably going to be the one that needs to be cloud driven.
Yeah. So if you plan on picking it up for the Switch, you might want to check on that. Make sure you have decent internet. All right. Next up, Know by Heart, releasing on PC. Rekindle old friendships in a quiet Russian town on the brink of its own crisis. Know by Heart is a narrative adventure about accepting loss by the makers of Pathologic. Okay, so it's made by Ice Pick Lodge, self-published, releasing on PC. And oh my gosh, did you actually have a trailer for this thing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna bring this up. I'm not gonna play the Kingdom Hearts trailers. Everybody already knows what Kingdom Hearts is. These games have been out like so many times. Here we go. Ice Pick Lodge. This is a point and click adventure game.
Yeah.
Асень день варенья. Времена, когда, прощаясь, мы говорили друг другу до завтра.
Долго на этой работе?
It's really
Миш,
nice,
ты
like,
правда
indie
меня не
game,
узнаешь?
so-
Yeah,
Даю подсказку.
I like the
Тёма,
relaxing music.
ты,
It
кто
would
третий?
put me to sleep though. You know, I can get like games like this. I can just get sucked in like crazy. You know, because it's always that little next piece you got to
Всё
do,
накатилось прежней
right? And it
зимой.
keeps
Все наши детские
continuing and
счастья.
continuing and continuing and
А раньше
continuing.
такими важными
And you're
казались.
unraveling puzzles
Наше
and
дерево.
stuff. You know.
Наш тайный штаб. Так к нему привык, что перестал замечать.
Как насчет угнать машину?
Асенька, от кого я это слышу?
Эй, ухнем! Напишу потом картину «Бурлаки и машины».
Hey, this looks pretty cool.
Тогда береги руки! Дети! Сколько вас! Даже Ася!
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna start crying though with this music. Holy crap! It's like, geez. Yeah, that looks cool, man. Know by Heart. It's releasing on February the 10th. So I don't know how much it is. I'm gonna Google it real quick. It's releasing on PC only,
Yeah.
and it is.
I think they have it on Steam.
Oh, I hate when they do this, dude. It's like add to your wish list. There's no price. And like it releases in 2 days.
What in the? That doesn't even make sense. I would have to believe this has got to be like
$20, $30.
20 to 30, like a $29.99 or a $19.99.
We'll guesstimate somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, it doesn't say.
Yeah, usually when you're that close to release, it'd be
Yeah.
like, all right, buy now for 22 something, or wait.
They
you know,
haven't
until
settled
after
on a
this
price yet.
date.
They're seeing how Sifu does at 50 or 40. You know, like hey, we'll see. You know, we're holding it out. Everybody's okay with it. Maybe we'll reach up there. You know.
Yeah.
All right, we got one more
Mm-hmm.
releasing again on PC.
Yeah.
Lost Ark. This is an MMO. I think this is one of those ones that's actually been out in like Korea or something. And it's being brought to the West and published by Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
And another Smilegate. Big wheat for Smilegate.
Yeah.
Getting two of their big like Eastern franchises over into the West for the first time with Crossfire X, and it looks like this game as well.
Yeah.
Lost Ark. I remember this game caught people's attention at the Game Awards. Was it the Game Awards or that other show that Jeff Keighley put on? I can't remember. And then we all found out, oh, this has already been out for a couple of years. That happens a lot. Yeah, it looks rad, right?
And graphics on this look awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it was released in South Korea on December 4th, 2019. So it's still a modern game, right? It's not like it's, oh, this has been out since 2010, you know?
Yeah.
It's releasing Europe and North America on the 11th. Published by Amazon. I don't know. I think this thing's got some potential, man. I don't know how it's doing in Korea, right? But it looks pretty freaking cool. I don't know.
Starting to see Amazon's name more and more with publishing and stuff.
Yeah, they want to get into these MMOs and games of service type stuff. It seems like, right?
Yeah. Like, oh, you want a subscription? Be able to get new content every month through your Twitch subscription, and Amazon is sneaking in slowly but surely.
So, is it free to play? It looks like it may be free to play.
It is a free to play, but they have kind of like a Black Desert, where you could do like a founders pack, or like I forget what they call the other names.
Yeah, they have all these founders packs on here.
And you'll wind up getting like certain cosmetics and certain like classes or certain powers and abilities and things like that to start off. And I think it gives you like a 3-day early access.
Right. So, looks like the minimum requirements are, I don't know, is that hefty these days, or is that pretty reasonable?
Minimum, GTX 460 is not too hefty.
Right. Recommended is only a GTX 1050.
Yeah. So I would say if you want all the bells and whistles, like what you see in the video, you'll probably want to have like a 2060 or something like that.
Yeah.
A 1660 Super will probably cut it. You just won't have ray tracing. But
overwhelmingly positive so far on Steam from a game that's not released in the West. So I don't know if those are actual Korean reviews or just people like, man, this looks sick. It's like, we haven't played it yet, but it looks sick. Yeah, I think Amazon's doing the right thing, trying to build up their brand. Like, unlike Google, that just like, hey, here's the platform. Here's the platform.
We're gonna close it down. Rename it.
They didn't make any games, and then they canceled all the games that they were making. Yeah. So like Amazon is at least like publishing these games that are maybe even established in other territories and bringing them over, right? And or funding new development and stuff like that. They're trying to gain an audience and gain some
like a following,
current or some revenue coming in, get a following. They get some big franchise people into big franchises that they can keep them included in, and then also bring them into their services, right? So I think that they're trying to do some smart things, but we'll see where it goes for them. Lost Ark, February 11th. I might actually try it. I don't do a lot of PC gaming, but it just looks pretty sick. I have to be honest.
Yeah.
So, all right, man. I mean, is there anything else like newsworthy? This was like the boring Monday. It's like there's nothing to talk about. So we're all bickering online about the pricing of games.
I think about the only leftover remnant of news was the Adam Conover. But I think we've already touched on that a bit. with on FSP, but eh, one of the devs from Coalition went over to Compulsion. He has like a higher position now for like 3D art and environment. So it looks like Compulsion's ramping up. I'm getting the feeling that we're going to hear something about their games here soon, or see something possibly soon. But I think that's about the only real thing that caught my eye, other than like the normal bickering on Twitter about kind of like what we had talked about previous to the show with the price of games 20 years ago versus today. It's like, oh, those prices then you'd be paying $90. And it's like, well, cartridges cost a lot more to manufacture than digital or disc games. But yeah, that's really the only real news out there. I think we're going to get some more news shortly after like Horizon Forbidden West drops. And I'm waiting to see like what's his name, Shinobi on Twitter.
Yeah.
Took the time and did like a whole
man, that
breakdown.
thread was awesome. I retweeted that. Yeah, go ahead, finish your sentence though.
No, it was awesome seeing that he came across like I would say all the studios, not even all, just a handful of studios that were created within the past year or two, or that have been a little bit more vocal on what they're working on, or what games are coming here probably in the next 2 to 4 years. He had like a whole rundown list, kind of like what they're working on, where the talent has come from, like some of the founders or the main management and stuff like that have come from like other AAA games. Some have come from like GTA, some have come from God of War, some have come from like the Coalition or Rare with Sea of Thieves. So you have like a wide variety of different games where there's some multiplayer stuff and some single player stuff that should be pretty interesting. And you got to look at like some of the Game of the Year award-winning like dev talent is now in some of these studios, and they're always recruiting from one another and working on interesting projects. So I would say the next couple of years are going to be pretty exciting, especially for this current gen or next gen, as far as when they fully focus on the hardware and stuff like that. I can't wait to see what they come up with. But
yeah,
that was a pretty cool thread.
Yeah, man, I agree 100%, dude. You guys, I recommend check that out. There's so much stuff, like the whole, like you're saying, the whole consolidation thing. It's like, I mean, really, like, is consolidation an issue with when it seems like there's so many new startups all the time? There's so many new development studios. There's so many new indie games being made. So many games out there, and it's easier for these companies to get going than ever before. I mean, you have games being developed by one person that seem like they're like, wow, they're like amazing looking, So like you have, large companies that are making these huge, massive franchises and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They're consolidating, but you still have all the other stuff out there, and you never know when the next big thing's going to be, right?
Yeah.
What's going to be the next Minecraft? What's going to be the next Fortnite? What's going to be the next Call of Duty? What's going to be the next any of these? There's always whatever's next, and it usually comes from either the smaller publishers or the indie devs that create the next big thing, right? So
exactly.
Gaming is going to be in a great place for a long time. Man, I can't wait to see what all those new studios create. It's going to be absolutely incredible. One of them that was on that list was the guys that are making Arc Riders or Arc Raiders. That free to play game coming out later this year supposedly, from Dice developers. And man, that game looks sick. It looks really good.
Looking forward to that one. It was like there was a lot of ones that I'm definitely anxious to see, like Jade Raymond's studio. I know she's making like a PS exclusive right now,
Yep.
And with her, I think she worked on
The
not
Hayes
Tomb Raider,
Studios or Haven Studios, right?
Hayden Studio. Yeah. What was it that she worked on?
She
was it
actually started.
Assassin's
She
Creed?
created Assassin's Creed. Yeah, she was the
Yeah.
original creator of the first Assassin's Creed game, creative director on that. And
Yeah.
man, that's doing some good work. You know what I
yeah.
mean?
And even if it's a totally different genre, to have that type of creativity and working on a new game. The Arc Riders, I think it's Embark Studios or
Embark,
something.
yes, yeah.
Definitely looking forward to them. The one that I always talk about is like the hidden gem, possibly. What is it? Everywhere by Build a Rocket Boy. That's the guy, one of the guys from Rockstar that left a few years ago. Started his own studio, and they ramped up a good bit. And I know that they've been like pulling talent from like a lot of big, AAA studios and stuff. They're now up to, I think, 400 personnel and stuff like
Wow,
that. So
that's a pretty good size studio.
Yeah. So
what's that studio called?
Build a Rocket Boy.
Build a Rocket Boy studio. Okay, nice.
And the game he's working on is Everywhere. I don't think it's going to be a GTA clone, even though, yes, I know he's the guy that owns it, or is famously known for GTA. I have a feeling it might be like superhero like, because I saw one of the guys that left DICE to work there was, showing like a little example of stuff that he was working on. And I won't say it's a Superman game, but he had kind of like a Superman vibe with the character and the model stuff that he was working on. So that, I think, is going to be pretty interesting.
Wow.
And there's another one I can't remember. Oh, the Callisto Protocol group.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that one. I'm so glad they made that game. So EA decided to reconsider and make another Dead Space. But considering that's a lot of the original crew that made the original Dead Space,
yeah, I think
I'm curious to see how it turns out.
Then there's also the Amy Hennig is behind this studio. That's and that one supposedly has ties to Xbox and Game Pass. Is some rumors right now, because a lot of things were checking boxes that made sense that for them, and they're working supposedly on a big IP, making a big massive
it's a Marvel related or something too.
Yeah, we don't know exactly what it is, but supposedly it's a big deal, whatever it's going to be. So we're looking forward to finally finding out what that is. But they're working on a big project. So anyway, everybody, thanks for tuning in to Tidbits. This has been a lot of fun. As always, Fuzzy, thanks for joining me. I got to try and find time to do this again during the day, instead of at night, but it is what it is. So thanks for joining in again, Fuzzy, and tell everybody where they can find you.
It's no problem at all, man. I enjoy doing this. Gaming is the hobby I enjoy most. I'm not spending a lot of money on cars anymore, so gaming is more my speed these days. But for anybody out there that wants to hear my ramblings on gaming and gaming related stuff, you can follow me on Twitter at @fuzzy_Belvedere. You can also find me on Breakfast with Boom 10 a.m. on Fridays. Also on FSP with Mav and Key on this channel at 6 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. And then later on that night, the Shop podcast with PTK Blam and Pong Soul. And then back here again on Monday with some more game releases with Mav. Can't wait.
Ramping up, man. We got a big one releasing next week. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah.
And guys, check out all the shows we got. We'll be back for Fun Pop on Wednesday, PM in the PM. On Thursday, Boom is actually joining us on Thursday for PM in the PM this week. Friday's Xbox Ultimate and Saturday's FSP. We're going to have a lot of fun, and I hope you enjoy the shows for the week. So have a good one, and bye-bye.
Later.